F1 or F6 function keys. In this video, we'll explore which function keys are available and which keyboard shortcuts are most commonly used. During program operation, you can perform actions using the function keys. These are the F1, F9 keys located in the top row of your keyboard. If your keyboard lacks dedicated F1 or F9 keys, as is often the case with laptops, you can use the Fn key in combination with the number keys that also serve as F1 or F9. In ARCAD, F1, F6 are the most frequently used function keys. Let's examine their effects. F1, calling help. You can search within help using the contents index. And search functions, including searching for specific text by entering it. For example, by searching for the word layers, you can find a description of which elements you can assign layers to, and where and how they can be used. The Help button in dialog boxes can also lead you to the relevant page where the dialog's explanation is found, that is, the information related to it. F2, automatic zoom. Pressing F2 zooms in to fit an approximately 1 meter radius around the editing cursor or selection arrow to the screen size. Pressing F2 again returns to the previous zoom window. To better understand F3, we'll first explore how F4 operates. F4, reset coordinates and move relative coordinate system. Clicking with the left mouse button or pressing Enter on the screen places a small red cross, which also serves as a reference point. F4 performs snapping when snapping is enabled. Snapping the cross has to an element within the environment defined in the snap dialog. Controlling snap. One of the important elements of precise editing is the ability to snap to already drawn elements, points, or the applied grid. The snapping icons provide this functionality. Clicking the snap icon displays the icons that control snapping. This group can be moved to any location on the screen. The first icon is used to toggle snapping on, off, taking into account the status of the icons that follow. This means that it either deactivates or activates the set snapping options. Elements defined by snapping become hot areas from an editing perspective. When you move the editing cursor in their vicinity, the sensor indicator next to the cursor changes. The snapping icons provide snapping to the following areas: snap to grid points, snap to the side line or the point of an object, large object, intersection points, and level foils. The reference point always moves to the last clicked location. The coordinates relative to this point are displayed in the dx, dy, a, d fields at the bottom of the editor window. You can move this reference point to the cursor's current location using F4, resetting the coordinate values to 0. For example, when drawing a wall, if you place the first point of the wall, the reference point moves there. Then, as you move the mouse, you can see the data of the wall being drawn in the dx, dy, a, d fields. dx is the x displacement, dy is the y displacement, a is the angle, and d is the length of the wall. F3, toggle measurement unit movement to set step distance. During on-screen editing, mouse movement can be tracked in the dx, dy, a, d fields. The x, y displacement values are displayed in the dx, dy fields, while the displacement angle is shown in the a field and the length in the d field. The values you see depend on the zoom level. The displacement value is displayed with varying decimal precision depending on the measurement unit used. For millimeters, it's 1 decimal place. For centimeters, it's 2 decimal places. And for meters, it's 4 decimal places. The measurement value is inch, this displacement value is 1/16. The step distance and direction guidance can be adjusted using the editing icons, small or large movement. This can be toggled by pressing Shift plus Ctrl plus F3 or by clicking on the small or large text. The toggle status is also visible on the icon. When enabled, the small arrow becomes active, allowing you to toggle the small or large movement with the icon as well. Movement in centimeters and the effect of the F3 function key. We will examine the movement of the mouse and keyboard arrows in centimeters and the effect of the F3 function key, which toggles movement by measurement unit. Mouse and keyboard movement in centimeters. Small setting. With the F3 function key, mouse movement can be toggled between whole millimeters millimeter and 1 decimal place precision. Keyboard arrows move in millimeter increments in both cases. In inch, this is 1/16 inch. Large setting. With the F3 function key, mouse movement can be toggled between whole centimeters and 2 decimal place precision. Keyboard arrows move in centimeter increments in both cases. In inch, this is 1 inch. Combining F3 and F for snapping. After enabling F3 centimeter-based movement, it is advisable to also use F for snapping. Visualizing the movement. When zoomed in closely, you can observe that the small cursor does not jump to the red cross reference point when centimeter-based movement is enabled and drawing occurs on the centimeter grid. In the other setting, the small cursor jumps to the reference point and drawing does not start from a whole centimeter, millimeter value but from the 2 decimal place precision. If snapping is enabled, the snapping value determines this position. F5, Absolute Relative Coordinate System Toggle. F5 toggles between the absolute and relative coordinate systems. The absolute 00 point is the top left corner of the entire sheet allocated for editing. It's generally not advisable to start editing at the absolute 00 point. Upon startup, the program designates the 30,000 centimeters point for editing, and this is where you can begin. You have approximately 500 to 500 meters available in all directions relative to this point. You can reach the absolute 00 point using the scroll arrows. F6, Redraw Screen Refresh. The screen can be refreshed using the redraw icon or F6. In this section, we will highlight some of the more important and frequently used keyboard shortcuts, which greatly assist in program usage. Let's look at some of its uses. Angle snapping, Shift, Ctrl, Shift plus Control. The most commonly used directions when drawing an element are orthogonal, 45 degrees, or a specified angle. The angle snapping icon or pressing Shift, Ctrl, or Shift plus Control provides assistance for this. As you can see below, pressing the Shift, Ctrl, or Shift plus Control keys also activates the angle snapping icon. Shift. Hold down when drawing a wall or other element in order to change your orientation by 90 degrees. Control. Hold down when drawing a wall or other element in order to change your orientation by 45 degrees. Shift plus Control. Hold down when drawing a wall or other element in order to change your orientation by defined angle in Options, Ortho dialog. Direction keeping, E. Modify the selected endpoint of the element, wall, line, etc. with direction keeping. Shift plus E. Modify the selected endpoint of the element, wall, line, etc. with direction keeping, perpendicular to the element. Space, Shift plus Space. Space. When drawing a wall, pressing space modifies its thickness relative to the midline. Shift plus Space. Transpose the layers on the two sides of a wall using this key combination. Space. Pressing space also toggles between superimposed elements to assist in selecting them. Scroll the screen, Ctrl plus arrows. By pressing Ctrl and the arrow keys, you can scroll the screen content in the direction of the arrows. For more information, visit our website at www.arcad.biz or visit our YouTube channel.